Let's be honest, most people think they're intelligent, but they're just loud. They mistake a fast mouth for a sharp mind, and in the world of power dynamics, that is a fatal error. True intelligence isn't about how much you know, it's about how you weaponize what you don't know. While the crowd is busy trying to look smart, a very small percentage of people are quietly mastering the habits that actually allow them to command a room and influence the outcome of any situation. In this video, we're stripping away the academic fluff. I'm showing you the 5 specific, almost invisible habits that the most influential people use to stay 3 steps ahead of everyone else. By the time we're done, you're going to realize that your weird quirks aren't flaws. They're your greatest leverage. Now, look around. Most people will click away in 30 seconds because they'd rather be entertained than elevated. But you're still here. That tells me you're already wired differently. If you're ready to stop playing the game on autopilot and start understanding the underlying mechanics of influence, then you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and join this circle. Do not watch from the sidelines. It's time we stop guessing and start knowing. Let's get into the first habit, and it's one that most people are terrified of because it requires checking your ego at the door. The I don't know advantage. Think about the last time you were in a high-stakes conversation. Someone dropped a term you didn't recognize or referenced a concept you'd never heard of. What did you do? If you're like most, you nodded, smiled, and prayed no one asked for your input. You chose the safety of the facade over the power of the truth. In the realm of power dynamics, that's a rookie mistake. The most intelligent people, the ones who actually control the outcome, have zero ego about what they don't know. They lean into the I don't know advantage. While everyone else is burning mental RAM trying to look competent, the genius is busy asking the dumb questions. Why? Because they realize that every time they admit ignorance, they're getting a masterclass at someone else's expense. This is the reverse Dunning-Kruger effect in action. Low performers overestimate themselves because they don't know enough to see their own gaps. But a high IQ mind sees the vastness of the unknown and treats it like a hunting ground. By saying, I don't know, you strip the other person of their mystery. You force them to lay out their logic, giving you the ultimate leverage. You now understand exactly how their brain works. It's a tactical surrender that results in total information dominance. It's about becoming a vacuum for data, while others are just loudspeakers for noise. But as effective as this is for gathering intel, the next habit is where things get weird. It's a behavior that makes outsiders think you've lost your mind, but it's actually the secret to elite cognitive processing. You've seen them do it. Maybe you even do it yourself behind closed doors. You're pacing the room, muttering under your breath, literally having a full-blown conversation with yourself. Society tells you that's a sign you're losing your grip. But in reality, it's the exact opposite. Welcome to the second habit, the sound of success, or external processing. The most formidable minds don't just trap their thoughts in their heads, they vocalize them. When you speak your strategy out loud, you are literally forcing your brain to slow down, organize chaotic data, and process it through your auditory system. You are offloading your mental RAM. According to researchers at Bangor University, talking to yourself actually improves cognitive focus and sensory processing. You aren't going crazy. You are acting as your own sounding board to detect flaws in your logic before you step into the battlefield. It's a massive tactical advantage. While others are drowning in their own mental noise, you are structuring your thoughts into a weapon. If you actually talk to yourself when you're plotting your next move, I want you to go down to the comments right now and type the word vocal. Let's see how many of you are already using this without even realizing its power. Now, vocalizing your strategy is powerful, but what do you do when the room goes completely quiet? Most people panic and instantly reach for a distraction. But the true intelligent, they lean into the void. Up next is a habit that will completely change how you view your downtime. Weaponized boredom. Let's do a quick audit. You're in line at the coffee shop, or you're stuck in traffic. What's the very first thing you do? You pull out your phone, you scroll, you numb the silence. Sound familiar? Most people are absolutely terrified of being understimulated. But in the game of power, the ability to sit quietly in the silence isn't just rare, it's a lethal advantage. Welcome to the third habit, weaponized boredom. Average minds treat boredom like a disease that needs to be instantly cured with a hit of cheap dopamine. But highly intelligent people recognize boredom for what it actually is. A cognitive incubator. When you stop feeding your brain endless streams of noisy content, something fascinating happens. Your brain activates what neuroscientists call the default mode network. This is where the real strategic magic happens. When your mind is allowed to wander, it starts connecting seemingly unrelated data points. It synthesizes information, runs through complex what-if scenarios, and solves massive problems in the background while you're literally just staring out a window. By constantly distracting yourself with your screen, you are actively interrupting your brain's natural ability to strategize and outmaneuver the competition. The elite intentionally schedule dead time. They take long walks without headphones. They let the void do the heavy lifting, but letting your brain run wild is only half the equation. What happens when the conclusion your brain reaches contradicts everything you thought you knew? That brings us to habit number 4, a mental shift so rare, it almost feels like a superpower. The fact that you are still watching this video tells me something very specific about you. You aren't just looking for cheap entertainment, you are actually invested in upgrading your mental software. You've done yourself a massive favor by staying focused while the rest of the crowd scrolled away minutes ago to chase cheap dopamine. If you held off on subscribing at the beginning of this video because you needed proof that this channel actually delivers real value, I respect that. You protect your attention, but by now, you know we don't do fluff here. So hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and share this with the one person you know who actually plays the game at your level. Let's make this circle stronger. Now, let's talk about what happens when your brain realizes it made a mistake. Welcome to habit number 4, the cognitive pivot. Average people treat their opinions like their identity. If you attack their belief, you attack them, and they will fight to the death defending a sinking ship. In power dynamics, we call that the sunk cost fallacy. Highly intelligent people do the exact opposite. They operate on a framework of strong opinions weakly held. They treat their beliefs as working hypotheses, not permanent tattoos. The second new, superior data enters the room, they pivot without a drop of ego. They would rather be right eventually than be right now. This mental flexibility is lethal. But how do you find that superior data in the first place? How do you see the angles everyone else is blind to? That brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the Sherlock Lens. Have you ever watched someone walk into a room and instantly read the entire dynamic? They know exactly who holds the actual power, who is just faking it, and precisely how a situation is going to play out before a single word is even spoken. To the untrained eye, it looks like magic. It looks like they have some kind of psychic intuition. But I promise you, it isn't magic. It's just math. They aren't predicting the future. They are simply observing a completely different layer of reality than you are. Welcome to the 5th and most dangerous habit, the Sherlock Lens, otherwise known as high-level pattern recognition. Average people navigate the world entirely obsessed with the what. What is happening right now? What did that person just say? What is the immediate outcome? But a highly intelligent mind doesn't care about the what. They are obsessed with the why. They don't just look at isolated events, they look at the underlying systems and frameworks driving those events. They connect dots that most people don't even realize are on the same page. This is the art of cross-pollination. A master of this habit will take a principle they learned from a legal argument, apply it to a business negotiation, and use a concept from human psychology to completely control the room. They see the matrix. While everyone else is blindly reacting to the symptoms, the intelligent mind is quietly manipulating the root cause. Stop looking at the pieces on the board and start studying the board itself. If you're still watching this, you've just proven something crucial. You have the discipline to sit through the mechanics of real power while the rest of the internet is busy chasing 15-second dopamine hits. Consider this your badge of honor. You are now officially operating on a completely different frequency than the majority of the population. Let's lock in what you've just armed yourself with. You now know that true intelligence isn't about having all the answers. It's the tactical humility of the I don't know advantage. It's the strategic clarity that comes from the sound of success when you vocalize your moves. It's the sheer mental leverage found in weaponized boredom. It's the ruthless adaptability of the cognitive pivot. And finally, it's the Sherlock Lens, the ability to see the systems governing the board while everyone else blindly plays with the pieces. Let this sink in. Intelligence is not a fixed number you were born with. It is not an academic score or a piece of paper. It is a deliberate series of choices you make every single day. It is how you react to the unknown and how you observe the world around you. You don't need a certified high IQ to start acting like a genius, and you certainly don't need to be the loudest person in the room. You just need the courage to be the student in every single room you walk into. Stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.